I'm Greg Kavanaugh with the Gallup Journey magazine. Today we're looking at a 2012 GMC Sierra SLT ZL71 4x4 with the Rocky Ridge Trucks Customization Altitude Package. Now today I brought you guys out here to the rocks, the dirt, the bumps, to try and give you a little bit of feel for this thing for its intended purpose. Now you've probably seen a few off-road videos on YouTube and you're thinking to yourself every time, that doesn't look that tough, that doesn't look that off-road. Well, I can assure you this truck is capable, but I'm also not going to destroy it just for the purposes of a video. Also, I found it's actually quite hard to capture just how rugged the departure angles and how deep ruts are and stuff with the camera. So just keep in mind when you're watching this video that I did put it through its paces as best as I could, and if you would like to, or you are an off-roader, I do recommend this package for doing the same. So you might be thinking, what exactly is a Rocky Ridge truck? Well, Rocky Ridge is a custom company out of Georgia that is a certified GM upfitter, meaning these trucks come straight from GM to Rocky Ridge Trucks, and from there they get customized and sent to the dealer. So what do? Well, what really makes them stand apart is two things. First of all, this has a 6-inch lift. Yes, a 6-inch lift. They call it their Pro Comp suspension lift. It doesn't actually change out the suspension components, but it is a lift. 20-inch wheels with 35-inch Mickey Thompson off-road rubber, and then some other details that are more cosmetic. The big fender flares that match the color of the body. Chrome overlays on the handles, the mirrors, the bar, running board down below. So things like that, little things like that and big things like that come together to make this a unique truck. So as I mentioned, Rocky Ridge Trucks adds a 6-inch lift. I believe what they do is they actually add in just a spacer on this component package. There's no changes to the springs or shocks. And what that does is I think it firms up the suspension a bit. I noticed both off-road out here as well as on-road that it rides pretty taut, pretty firm. You don't get as much travel as you'd expect. But what you do get is that big, mean, aggressive look. Between the big tires and wheels and the 6-inch lift, you can see just how tall this truck really is. So for those of you looking for that big, bad monster truck look, which isn't myself at 5'8", this might be the choice for you. Since this is an upfitted truck, you can order this with any V8 or any engine that you can get in a GMC Sierra. In this case, I have the 5.3-liter VVT V8. It makes 315 horsepower and 335 pound-feet of torque. Now, I've test-driven a half-ton Sierra before, and I thought the motor was fine. It seemed plenty powerful, no real issues. Suddenly, you add a 6-inch lift, big wheels and tires, and it seemed a little lacking in power. Now, you can order this with GM's 6.2-liter V8, which is basically going to bump you to up 100, to over 400 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque. I could see where in this case you're not going to be really worried about gas mileage with a vehicle like this. Upping this to the 6.2 might be the way you'd want to go. I'm not going to lie to you. This truck is a disaster as a daily driver. The 6-inch lift gives you off-road clearance. It gives you the menacing stance. But man, is it a pain for someone my size. A friend of mine at the dealership said, you drive a truck like this for a week and you get tired of it. I drove it for 2 days already, and I'm already getting tired of it. I'm 5'8". Now the step here helps significantly. But once you're up, you're a long ways up. As a daily driver going to and from the grocery store, it's a lot of work getting in and out of this thing. So, other than, a small fraction of people, most people do not buy a truck like this to be their daily driver in downtown Boston, Massachusetts, right? It's just not designed for that. We're out here in the deserts of New Mexico where it fits in pretty well. And frankly, if you live in a more rural or wide open area, a truck like this, it could make sense. Certainly if you want something with some off-road capability and prowess and ground clearance, the 6-inch lift is going to make a big difference. You can see here, it's actually sitting on an angle, just how much clearance you're going to get. High centering becomes much less of an issue, even on a 4-door with this wheelbase, when you have the 6-inch lift. Now this, of course, really affects your daily usage for things like, using the bed. For instance, if you want to try and get over the sides of the bed to get something in the back of the bed, It's not easy with that 6-inch lift. If you're watching this video, you already know that when it comes to trucks, it's all about the numbers, and we're not just talking horsepower or fuel economy or towing capacities or cargo capacities. We're also talking about the size of your king cab or crew cab or a super cab or whatever you want to call it. I've already reviewed an F-150. You can see that in some of my other videos. So I thought I'd show you the back here of the Sierra. Now, it is the smallest of the big trucks. The Tundra, the Ram, the F-150, they've got it beat. But it's hardly small back here. I'm 5'8". I have no problem back here. Last night I had a friend of mine who was a 6-footer. No problem. Plenty of leg room, plenty of toe room underneath, plenty of headroom, shoulder room. It's really a comfortable place to be. As in any truck, the seat angle is not exactly reclined, but it's hardly the steep seat angles of yesteryear. And as with most trucks these days, the seat easily folds up, no levers or handles. Give you a nice flat load floor back there for tools or anything else you might want to keep out of the elements and in the cab. If you're in the market for one of these, you're probably wondering the big question, what does it cost? I'm going to tell you, a lot. This truck so equipped is over $50,000. Now, this is also the SLE. You can go up in packages from there. It does have leather, backup camera, adjustable power, pedals, all those kinds of things. So really it is more than nicely equipped. Now, when you think about that price, you gotta remember a couple things. These wheels and tires and the suspension package alone are absorbing a lot of that cost. When you factor in that this vehicle goes straight from GM to the upfitter and then to your dealership, and it comes with a full factory warranty and all those kinds of things, you may be paying a little bit more to have this type of package, but you're getting quite a bit of value by having it be a GM certified upfitted package. Well, this is one of the few videos I've done where I actually wanted the vehicle to be dusty and dirty, because I wanted to let you guys know out there on YouTube that I actually used it. I had a good time with this truck, even in spite of its size. But I have to say, this is definitely not something for everyone. At over 50 large, it's an expensive toy to have. But if you have that money, you're looking for that kind of capability, you want that truck that presents that kind of look and gives you those features, then I do recommend checking out the Sierra with the Rocky Ridge Trucks Altitude Package. Thanks again for watching. Leave some comments below if you have anything to say.